A once prominent field of study at Maine Maritime Academy is being recharged.
Grace Bradley brings us to Castine for more.
Simply put, it is transformational.
Maine Maritime Academy will be the first maritime institution in the country to offer a nuclear engineering technology major. This comes after a recent vote of approval by the school's Board of Trustees and a $1 million grant from the Department of Energy.
Maine Maritime Academy was one of the earliest institutions in colleges, universities in the United States to develop nuclear engineering. That would be in 1960.
There used to be a nuclear steamship, which had a good amount of Maine Maritime folks on there. And it's time Maine Maritime takes the lead on a national and international basis.
This new program follows last year's reintroduction of the nuclear engineering technology minor, which previously ran from 1960 until the 1990s. NET professor Paul Vladkovsky says the major comes at a perfect time as global and industry leaders increase interest and investment in nuclear energy.
You know, it's 24/7 reliable baseload power that no other source can really match.
As MMA officials say, they're always looking towards the future. For them, this new major furthers their mission in preparing the next generation of maritime workers to meet today's industry needs.
This can usher folks into, obviously, the regular nuclear industry, maritime nuclear, and the U.S. Navy, whether it's working on a aircraft carrier, submarine, or in a naval shipyard like Portsmouth Naval Shipyard.
Our program here is, again, unique because Maine Maritime Academy is unique in terms of the hands-on training that is truly valued by industry and the versatility that comes with that. I would assert that there are few academic programs out there, and I don't mean just at MMA, around any colleges, that have the potential as nuclear engineering to positively change the world.
Grace Bradley, WABI News, Castine.
While the major will not officially be available until the fall of 27, incoming MMA students can still pursue the degree as nuclear-specific classes do not begin until sophomore year.